And welcome to bexbugoutsurvivor. I've been looking forward to doing this. It's another experiment with the stove, but it's the windshield. Now, not only will a windshield block against the wind, obviously, and slow the boil down, but I'm wondering about a taller windshield versus a shorter windshield. I think that a taller windshield will create a chimney effect and it should draw heat upwards, as where I think a shorter windshield, just enough to cover the flame and part of the cup, you're not going to get that chimney effect. And I haven't done any of these experiments before, so I don't know the results. And with other experiments, I do kind of have an inkling, and it'll be interesting to find out. I also want to test whether a tall chimney windshield around a pot could be quicker than boiling without a windshield but the lid on. Now I'll be running this on full flame, and then that way I can have a fairer assessment, and I'll be timing these burns. And finally, the actual windshield. This is quite a tall one. Let me just put it there, it's upside down at the moment. And a short one, it's just to give you a size comparison. Okay, I'll put here in inches how much this is, and it'll come up in the caption here for the tall one, and for the shorter one it'll come up in the caption here the height of that. I'll be putting 250 ml of cold water to each boil, which is up to the first gradient. What we need here is a control, and a control test is going to be just how it boils without the lid and without a windshield, and we'll see if the lid on is going to be quicker than a tall windshield. Okay, it's 2:45 with this small and lid off. Make a note of that. Okay, now 2:45 is a bloody good time for what might be just a generic little aftermarket stove and a tank, which is actually full of butane. Although it's in a butane propane tank, I put the butane in that. I don't chuck them, I just fill them up from cheaper gas. If you want to know how to do that, by the way, it's on the channel. Just type it in search box. When we come back, you'll see the tall windshield with a pot that's been cooled down, same amount of water from the same bottle, so the same temperature. Now 245 to beat. I think that's going to be some going. I don't know if it will beat it now, but in my head it should. Right, the pot's nice and cool, coming up to the 250 ml line. Now you notice the size of the shield is a hell of a lot bigger. Oh, it doesn't want to sit on there, you have it. Now I do have to leave the front of this open to oxygenate. Without doing that, it will really slow the burn down. Make sure you got it the right way up if you have one of these. These slits at the bottom face down, that's for oxygen, so it'll burn properly, and it won't burn properly if you enclose it all, which I could with this, but I'm not going to. I'm going to leave a similar amount of gap at the bottom. Okay, let's light this up. Okay, I started that a bit late, so we'll have a look on the time code on the red bar at the bottom of the YouTube player, and we'll work it out from that. Now, what about no windshield at all, just a lid on? Now for me, that is not unexpected. I really thought the taller windshield would be significantly the best. So it looks like any windshield, provided it is making some sort of chimney effect, is going to be much quicker if you're timing than the lid, much quicker, and thus saving gas. And then we all like to have that little bit more gas in our pack, don't we? Again, I would like to do this with the lid on and one of the windshields, maybe the small one, because it's probably what I would use. Well, there you go. It looks like if you marry up your windshield and a lid, it's better. Right then, let's have a reminder of all the results. Okay, first of all, the control. That was without anything, without a windshield or a lid. 3 minutes 19, that was the control. The next best was lid on with a small windshield at 309. Large windshield 336, a good, you know, half a minute longer with a taller windshield, and I expected the opposite to have occurred there actually, so you know, I've learned something myself there. And 3 minutes 40 just with the lid on and no windshield. So the control, again, faster than the lid on by 21 seconds. I know there's people on YouTube who will do all their water boil tests in a controlled environment indoors. And yeah, you do have a lot more control over the wind and air pressure, water temperature and all the other factors. But it's not a real life situation, is it? Unless you plan on doing your camping in the garage where the water boil test is taking place. And then it has no correlation at all then taking them results into an ever-changing atmosphere like the outside where you actually need your stove, and various things will change: boil times, air pressure, time of the year. So wherever you are in the world and whatever time of the year it is in your part of the world is going to vary from my results, but basically it will be in that same order, with the control, the big windshield, the smaller one, and the lid on with a small windshield. I don't use green screen, trick photography, smoke and mirrors. What you see is what you get. It's real life testing. So until next time, take good care of yourself. I'll see you out there. Happy trails.